I am from How To Taxes, and I'm here to help you prepare your Form 1040 with line-by-line instructions. The example for this video is that you are married with a 14-year-old son, although it will be helpful for any filing status. At the top of the Form 1040, under the Filing Status section, check the box that you're married filing jointly. Put your names, address, and Social Security numbers on the form. Also, make sure to check the box regarding virtual currencies. In this example, the answer is no. If any of the boxes are applicable to you under the Standard Deduction Age Blindness section, check them. In our example, since you have a 14-year-old son, under the Dependents section, put his first and last name, his Social Security number, his relationship to you, and check the box that he qualifies for the child tax credit. On line 1, put your wages. You can find this information in box 1 of the Form W-2 that your employer sent you. In this example, it is $81,350. On line 2, put your interest income. On line 3, your dividends. In our example, we have $1,600 of interest income. This would have been reported to you on a 1099 from your bank. Since the interest is over $1,500, a Schedule B is required. On Schedule B, put your names and Social Security number at the top of the form. On line 1, list the payer, which in our example is ABC Bank, and the amount. Carry that down to lines 2 and 4. In addition to having interest and dividends of over $1,500, there are a few other examples when you would have to file a Schedule B. They are listed here. On line 4, put your IRA distributions. On line 5, your pensions and annuities. These would be reported to you on Form 1099-R. If you receive Form SSA 1099, reporting your Social Security benefits, put the amount on line 6A. To determine the taxable portion, you need to complete the Social Security benefits worksheet found on page 31 of the Form 1040 instructions. I do have a video detailing how to fill this out, and I will put the link below this video. On line 7, report your capital gain or loss. An example of this would be if you sold stock. On line 8, put your other income from Schedule 1, line 10. Some of the more common examples of other income would be alimony received, and if you owned your own business, the income from Schedule C. Add your income together to come down to $82,950 for line 9. For line 10, we will go back to Schedule 1, adjustments to income. In this example, you are a teacher of the 5th grade, and you have $250 of expenses for supplies that you brought for the classroom. Put that on line 11 of Schedule 1 and carry it down to line 26. Some of the other more common examples of adjustments to income are alimony paid, student loan interest, and IRA deductions. Carry the $250 to line 10 and subtract it from line 9 to arrive at $82,700 on line 11 for your adjusted gross income. On line 12A, put your standard deduction. You can find the amount in the box to the left. Since in this example you are married filing jointly, your standard deduction will be $25,100. It is assumed that your standard deduction will exceed your itemized deductions. To calculate your itemized deductions, complete Schedule A and compare it to your standard deduction and take the amount that is more. On 12B, put your charitable contributions. You can only take a charitable contribution on line 12B if you take the standard deduction. The maximum amount that you can take is $600 for married filing jointly. It is $300 for the other filing statuses, and it cannot include non-cash contributions. In this example, you gave $600 or more to a charity. put that on line 12B, and add it to line 12A to arrive at $25,700 for line 12C. Carry that down to line 14. As in this example, you do not have a qualified business income deduction. You do not have a business income deduction because W-2 income is not considered business income unless you're a statutory employee, and then box 13 would be checked on your W-2. Subtract line 14 from line 11 to arrive at $57,000 for your taxable income. Next, we'll calculate your tax. You can find the tax tables beginning on page 65 of the Form 1040 instructions. Since you have taxable income of at least $57,000 but less than $57,050, your tax is $6,445 as you're married filing jointly. Line 17 will be 0. As in this example, you will not have alternate minimum tax or an excess advance premium tax credit repayment. Alternate minimum tax, also referred to AMT, is a tax for individuals who have significant deductions against the regular tax, which creates a situation in which their economic income is much greater than their taxable income. It does not apply in our situation, and since it is quite rare, I'm not going to go through the calculation of Form 6251 for this video. The excess advance premium tax credit repayment is for individuals who throughout the year had their insurance premiums paid with financial assistance, and if they received too much financial assistance during the year, there will be a repayment, and that would go on line 2. Since that doesn't apply to this situation, line 3 for part 1 on schedule 2 would be 0, and also line 17 on your Form 1040. For the child tax credit, since you have a qualifying child, and in our example, it is assumed that you had your main home in the United States for over half the year, your credit will be refundable. So the non-refundable child tax credit on line 19 will be blank. Line 20 will be left blank as well, as you do not have any additional credits. Two of the most common additional credits are the credit for child and dependent care expenses from Form 2441. Another common one is the education credits from Form 8863. I do have another video detailing the education credits, and I will put the link at the bottom of this video. Line 21 will be 0, and line 22 will be $6,445. Line 23 will be 0, as you don't have any other taxes. The most common one of the other taxes is self-employment tax, which is when you have Schedule C income because you own your own business. Your total tax on line 24 will be $6,445. Next, on line 25A, we will put your federal income tax withholding from Form W-2 in box 2, which in our example is $4,000. If you had withholding from a Form 1099, you would put that on line 25B or any other forms. A couple examples would be Form W-2G or Schedule K-1. Add the amounts from lines 25A through C to arrive at $4,000 on line 25D. On line 26, you would put any estimated tax payments that you remitted during the year, or any amount that you applied from your 2020 return to your 2021 return. In our example, it is 0, so the line can be left blank. Line 27A will be left blank, as in this example, you do not qualify for the Earned Income Credit. The Earned Income Credit is a credit for individuals with earned income whose income falls in the low to moderate range. Lines 27B and C refer to the Earned Income Credit. The non-taxable combat pay election is when you elect to exclude your combat pay from the Earned Income Credit calculation. On line 27C, you can use your prior year 2019 earned income for the calculation. On line 28, we will put your refundable child tax credit from Schedule 8812. I have included Schedule 8812 so you can view the detail on how we came up with the $3,000 on line 28. I will not be going through it line by line in this video because I do have another video in which I do detail it line by line, which I will include the link at the bottom of this video. The American Opportunity Credit on line 29 is part of the education credit, and since you are not in school, this will be left blank. On line 30 is the Recovery Rebate credit. You may be due this if you did not receive the full amount of your economic impact payment. Line 31 will be left blank as well, as you don't have any other payments. The most common type of other payment would be if you filed an extension for your return and you paid an amount with the extension. You would put that amount on Schedule 3 and on line 31. Line 32 is the total of all your other payments and refundable credits, which is $3,000. On line 33, total up all your payments, which will be $7,000. If you have an overpayment on your return, put that amount on line 34. In our example, it is $555. Since you would want it refunded to you, put that on line 35A. If you want your refund directly deposited into your bank account, check the type of account that you have on line 35C. Also, put your routing and account information on lines 35B and D. If you don't want it directly deposited into your bank account, cross off lines 35B and D, and the IRS will send you a check directly. Notice that there's a box to the left of line 35A. You would only check this box if you want your refund deposited into more than one bank account, so usually this would be left blank. Remember to sign, date, and put your occupation at the bottom of the form. We are all done. Thank you for watching. I am from How To Taxes. Subscribe for future tax videos and tax tips.